I am going to start with Skip on this one,
Thank
though.
you.
Should Bonds be in?
Barry Bonds should have been in the Hall of Fame at his first opportunity. And allow me to start this, even though you are a Hall of Fame voter, because I did cover Barry Bonds for 3 years in the Bay Area.
There was nothing more magical. Didn't you go to the ballpark almost every night?
Every night. I went on the road with them through all the home run chase.
You did.
Those are some of the greatest moments of my career because I've never seen anything quite like that. I've seen Tom Brady do what he did in overtime, but this is the hardest single thing to do in sports, and he did it the best that it's ever been done. That's hit a baseball consistently. When he would see maybe 2 good pitches a night, hittable pitches a night, and he would hit them as hard as you could hit them, and it would either hit the wall or go over the wall. And allow me to tell you why I believe he's not in the Hall. Obviously, he resorted to using PEDs. In his mind, I believe he had to, because he watched what Sosa and McGuire did in the Summer of Love, 1998.
Who were 10th of the players that he was.
That is correct.
And
that is correct.
Those 2 dudes, whether baseball wants to acknowledge it or not, they saved baseball that year.
It was
1998.
huge, and I covered that whole chase. I was there every single day, all the way down the stretch. To me, Mark McGuire wasn't a Hall of Famer without PEDs. Barry Bonds, even without PEDs, is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you about covering Barry Bonds on a daily basis. He's just a bad guy. One of the worst guys I've ever covered. I don't like Barry Bonds as a guy, and I don't care. It should not matter.
Should not.
Because, listen, on a daily basis, Barry Bonds went out of the way to be a bad guy to the media. He did not like us. And most of us did not like it. We despised him. I wouldn't go so far for me to say as I despise it because I was in awe of him as a baseball player. But on a daily basis, he either wouldn't speak to us, which is breaking rule number 1 for media because you don't get access, so you can't write your story. Your editor is saying, where are the Barry Bonds quotes? Well, he wouldn't speak. Well, you get him to speak. Well, if you got him to speak, he would go out of his way to humiliate or embarrass you or insult you. Or
all true.
You know, it was just, I clashed with him one day. He was mad at me, and he came up. I was just standing in the middle of the clubhouse, and he came up behind me and grabbed my arm in his vice grip and just held my arm and just stared right into my eyes for like probably 10 seconds. It seemed like 2 minutes. And I just looked at him like, and? You know, like, are you trying to intimidate me? I'm not afraid. I got to tell you, I'm not afraid.
Just didn't like.
Okay, I don't know what it was. I have no idea because I was mostly in his corner.
Right.
He was just, by nature, not a nice guy. Well, so what? Because when he had that little bat in his hand, it was a little bat, and he choked up on it. I've never seen anything like this. He was simply the greatest hitter in the history of baseball and the greatest player in the history of baseball. He won 8 Gold Gloves. 8. Didn't have a big arm, but it was a pretty accurate arm. But still, in his heyday in Pittsburgh, he could steal bases and
legit 5-tool.
Legit 5-tool. That 5th tool, that arm is just okay.
Right. He played shallow.
I know. I am with you.
Try him if you
to
want
compensate.
To.
Right.
If you look at, I don't have time to list the records, but we're talking about on-base percentage, on-base plus slugging. It's simply this. He was the first hitter who ever had the advantage over the pitcher because we've always seen the pitcher have the advantage until Barry Bonds came along.
Yep.
And he would stand in there and just spit on those pitches. You know, if it missed by an inch, he would just...
What was the year he had 225 walks?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. It's just out. He shattered Babe Ruth's on-base percentage because you just couldn't get the man out.
Sneak it by him.
Yeah, and after a while... They would walk him, and then they'd say, no, we can try to pitch to him. And he would literally see 2 pitches a night. He would crush those pitches. That was especially in that 2001. Whew, I've never seen anything like it. So to me, I don't care what he was off the field. At least he didn't commit any crimes that I'm aware of. So was he not a good guy? Not a good guy. Belonged in the Hall from day one. I'm sorry. And by the way, you can give a man all the PEDs you want, but you still have to make contact, man.
Eye-hand coordination, and I totally agree.
So why didn't the other guys that were using PEDs put up these numbers?
Good question.
Because they weren't good enough, Shannon.
Exactly.
You just said it.
Skip, if you look, let's just take his first 8 years. First 8 years, he had 2 MVPs, 3 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Sluggers. That's what he had in his first 8 years. Is that Hall of Fame?
In most of those, how many years?
Yeah, he had
7 years in Pittsburgh.
Because his first year in San Francisco, he won the MVP.
Okay.
So that's in his first 8 years.
And he was still Skinny Barry at that point.
His first 11 years.
Yep.
Where they said, because everybody, the timeline that everybody wants to jump on is around 99, after the 98 season, 99. So he had 8 gloves by 99, all before 99, 8 gold gloves, 7 silver sluggers, and 3 MVPs. Is that a Hall of Fame?
Yes. Done. Over.
If he just takes his best, I'm going home. I don't want to even play no more. Y'all can't get me out anyway. He's a Hall of Famer. Now we want to go back because if I follow this closely, steroids were illegal in baseball. So in other words, you're going back to grandfather something in
That's true.
to punish a guy for a crime that wasn't a crime when he actually committed it. If he committed it. Now he didn't lie. He said, "Hey, what they gave me, I put on." Most people at that time, Skip, steroid was a pill or you put it in your butt.
Right.
Balco came up with an ingenious way. We can rub it on your skin and get the same effect or to do the gummies. So he didn't lie. If they told him it was flaxseed oil, I ain't going to get into all that, what he knew and what he didn't know. He said, my trainer gave me this, I put it on. That's what I did. But to all of a sudden now, to go back and like, oh, he did steroid. Well, they should have had it in the bylaws that if you do these illegal drugs, you're not getting in the hall. Now, because he was a jerk, and he was, because I had a buddy of mine ask him for an autograph. He told my buddy, he said, "Why would I give you an autograph when somebody pay me $2,500 for this if I autograph this?"
That's
jersey?
Barry.
Yeah,
There you go.
But I ain't got no problem with that. I saw him in the All-Star game. He's unbelievable. I used to watch him when he's going through this chase. Imagine this, Skip, you said Tom Brady. Put this in perspective. Let Tom Brady, I want you to have Tom Brady go the entire game, and he doesn't throw a pass. And he get 2 chances to throw the game-winning touchdown from 25 yards out. I want Steph Curry to go the entire game. Klay Thompson to go the entire game.
That's true.
And I want them to hit a game-winning shot from 25. And they don't take a shot the entire game because that's what they asked Barry Bonds to do.
Wow.
He would see one pitch. Buck Showalter says, "You know what? I'm so afraid of this man. I'm going to walk a run in.
With the bases loaded.
I'm going to walk a run in. I refuse to pitch to you."
And it was a smart move, too.
It was.
He got Jeff Kent MVP, too.
He did.
He did.
Or as I call him, Jeff Can't.
This is now my brethren, this is where they've gone astray, and I'm one of them, but they really have on this because a lot of the stuff, Skip, you talked about is so true. And this is what I don't get. You know, in order for Barry Bonds to win those 7 MVPs, the writers have to vote for him. It's not a...
They voted for him.
They voted for him during that time. So despite how he treated us, we looked at the numbers and what he was doing, and we couldn't deny it. We couldn't deny it. But now...
Even though you suspected it.
Right. It was always out there.
Oh, okay.
But we voted for him, Skip, and now for the ultimate. Now, I do believe he will get in before his time is up because what the Hall of Fame has turned into is the Sympathy Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Because we just saw Edgar Martinez. Writers didn't vote for him for 9 years. Was his last year? Oh, yeah. Edgar belongs in. This is where we've gone with this. Where Mike Mussina averaged 11 wins a year. 11 and never won a Cy Young. Never won a Cy Young.
Oh, come on.
How are you a Hall of Famer?
I don't know.
But this is where we are. Now, here's the other part. How are the writers with a straight face? And I voted for Bonds. I voted for Sosa. I voted for Sheffield, Clemens, and Mariano. Those were my 5 votes. Okay? How can you keep Bonds out when you voted Pudge in on his first try of Ivan Rodriguez is in the Canseco book? Canseco didn't say, I heard he was doing it. He said, I used to inject him. Was the Canseco book not the Bible or gospel?
Yes.
Hey, I also covered the Rangers.
You
when
knew
they were the original steroid nest.
Yes.
It started in Texas, and he was a byproduct of that.
And so Pudge gets in on his first try. I was in Detroit when Pudge was there, and he lost 40 pounds in the offseason. And said it was by walking after dinner and eating salads. That's what he said when we asked him, where'd all the weight go? Mike Piazza. Has there been nothing but rumors about Mike Piazza forever? Mike Piazza's in the Hall of Fame.
Jeff Bagwell.
Jeff
Forever.
Bagwell,
Yep.
forever.
Yep.
They put Jeff Bagwell in. Why are you doing this to Bonds and Clemens? And Sosa, they just do not like. So he had 600 to work at.
I know the white Sosa. Now,
I don't know
what a black Sosa.
I don't know where he is.
That's why they can't put him in.
But Sheffield's the same way. He used to work out with
He's
Bonds.
a missing person, right?
But
I agree with you. Yeah. Because here's the argument, Skip, and Rob makes a very compelling point. Even when you suspected he was doing it, you were so in awe of what he was doing that you said, we can give the MVP to no one else other than him.
Yeah.
Now it's time to give him his ultimate validation, to send him to his Mecca, which is the Hall of Fame, where all the great players go. He's like, nah. We voted for you to get all these MVPs, but now we can really. You should have done it. If you thought he was doing it then, vote somebody else for the MVP.
Absolutely. But ultimately, I think there's a punishment kind of thing that they're going through, and they're going to wait till the final hour probably, because next year is Jeter, so they probably won't do it.
No.
You know what I mean? They probably won't do it next year.
I want to know what they're going to do with David Ortiz.
Well,
that's what I want to see.
I already told him.
Because they pretend like he...
And nothing happened. Him and Manny Ramirez were busted.
Hey, I know he won them MVPs and he was unbelievable, but I want to see what they do with David Ortiz.
You got to do it. It's either you let people in or nobody gets in, and they've let people in. I know.
It's too late now. Put Barry in there. 8 Gold Gloves, 12 Silver Sluggers, 7 MVPs.
How can you have a Hall of Fame without Barry Bonds?
You don't.
Seriously.
And they know that that people won't take it seriously.
If